tomorrow, because we are going to have a lot of knowledge once you are going to read the books. Now children, here in this picture you can see that the most of the students are enjoying reading the books. Like here my books are there. Now here the children are very happy and they are imagining so many things after reading the book. Here you can see that teacher is taking some of the topics and the students are listening very carefully. So ultimately what we can understand from all this picture, that the books are to and also to spend time for fun. Okay, even for a fun, for enjoyment, we can read the book. Now today's poem is also based on in this particular say in a topic like my book. Now the poet has explained everything, whatever he feels about the book. Let's see what the poet exactly wanted to tell us. I love my books. They are the homes of queens and fairies and knights and gnomes. Time I read, I make a on some quiet person, large or small, who welcomes me with a hearty hand and lead me throughout the wonderland. Each book is like a city street along whose winding way I meet new friends old who laugh and sing and take me off adventuring. Okay, now at the end of this poem, you can see it is written anonymous. What is written over here, children? Anonymous. Why it is written? Generally, what happened whenever you read any poem or any story, it is written that who has write this story, who is the writer of this story, or who is the poet of this poem. Okay, like your poem Rain in the Night poem, it was Amelia Josephine Burke. Then you have this poem of Why English is So Hard is written by Rudyard Kipling. Okay, next on Serving, sorry, it was written by Rudyard Kipling. So the name of poem is mentioned at the end of the poem. Here at the end of the poem, you can see it is written anonymous. Now, who is anonymous? Anonymous, when we don't know that who has written this poem, that time and it is written anonymous. That means we are not aware about poet. Okay? हमें पोएट का नाम नहीं पता है, तो उसकी जगह में हम क्या लिखते हैं? Anonymous. Understand? Children, let's move towards the very first stanza and understand what the poet wanted to tell us. I love my books. They are homes of queens and fairies and knights and gnomes. The children, you can see here written that knights. Okay. Now the K is silent over here. Now you're not going to pronounce the K. It is just pronounced as knights. It is not pronounced as gnomes. G is silent. So you are not going to pronounce the G. You are just going to pronounce the gnomes. Okay. So this is the word which are involved, some of the letters. So never just pronounce this word K like the Kenite, not gnomes. It's a knights and gnomes. Okay. Let's see who is knights and who is gnomes. What is meant by these all two words? The poet wanted to tell us that I love my books. They are the homes of queens and fairies and knights and gnomes. Now the poet is telling us that whenever I read the book, I feel like these books are not just the books. They are the homes of queens and fairies. Now, why the poet is telling us that it feels like it's a home of queens and fairies, children? Because this book involves some of the stories, poem, or the concept related to the queens and fairies. And other than this, and knights and gnomes. Now, knights means what? Knights means soldiers. In ancient time, soldiers were the some of the types. So the type of soldier who used to take the horse to ride and win the battle. This kind of brave soldiers are known as knights. Here in this picture, you can see that a small soldier, a beautiful, pretty soldier, you can see here. So it's known as knights. These soldiers used horse to ride and win the battle. Now, gnomes. Gnomes are the imaginary character, tiny imaginary character having a twin-like cap. Okay, so this is known as gnomes. So the children, poet wanted to tell us that my books are not just books, they are the homes of queens and fairies and knights and gnomes. Why the poet is comparing the book as a home? Because these books involve it is chances that the poet is reading the book of stories, and the stories having some of the characters of queens and fairies and knights and gnomes. Now the next stanza, let's concentrate on the next stanza. Each time I read, I make a call, some quaint person, large or small, who welcomes me with a hearty hand and leads me through his wonderland. Now, each time I read, the poet is telling us that whenever I read the book which I am having in my library or in my study table, whenever I read these books, I make a call. That means, make a call means what? Calling someone. Okay? Whenever you want to talk someone, what do? You take out your mobile and you call. Okay? When your mother wants something from you, what she do? She make a call. That means she asks you to come. Okay? So the poet wanted to tell that each time when I read the book, I call somebody to whom some quaint person, large or small, some quaint person. Now children, what is mean by this word quaint? Okay, now the quaint means Asian. Okay, what is mean by the quaint? Quaint means Asian. Asian, that means a very old-fashioned somebody. Okay, now the quaint person, large or small. What the poet wanted to tell us? Quaint. Quaint means old, Asian, old-fashioned person. Okay, large or small. Okay, large or small. Here you can see that the dragon is large. Okay, dragon is also imaginary character. So our story involves some of the imaginary character. Each time I read, I make a call on some quaint person, large or small, who welcomes me with a hearty hand. Now, what these quaint persons do? Quaint persons welcome poet to his wonderland. Okay, now how these person are welcoming to the poet? They are welcoming with a hearty hand. Now, children, what is mean by this word hearty hand? Okay, so you go to your relative's place, okay, to somebody like a friend's birthday, or when you meet your friend after a long time, what you do? You just open your arms and sometimes even you hug each other, okay, and you feel very happy. So the poet is telling us that whenever I read the book, I feel I make a call to somebody, and the quaint person, large or small, are coming and they are welcoming with me in a hearty hand and lead me through this wonderland. What this quaint persons are doing with the poet, they are welcoming with a very love in their eye, in their heart, and they are just welcoming him and leads me through his wonderland. And what they are doing, as the relatives take you to inside their home and they show you that this is my room, this is my terrace, this is my this and this. In the same way, these quaint persons are taking poet to this wonderland. Wonderland is something of imaginary and the different land where the things happen beyond the reality, like a chocolate tree and then a snowfall and then something very different. Like, see that in this picture you can see a king, queen, doll is walking, the toys are talking with each other, animals are talking like a human being. So this is something wonderland. Okay, as you watch some of the movies of Disney, so these are also showing some of the things which are not there in the present, but they are the imagined one. So it's a wonderland. So once again, I'm going to repeat this stanza. Each time I read, I make a call on some quaint person, large or small, who welcomes me with a hearty hand and lead me through his wonderland. Okay. Now the call, small. These are rhyme words. Call, small. Hand, land. These are the rhyming words in the poem. So whenever you read the poet involves some of the rhyming words. So just look at very careful and try to underline in your textbook. Okay. Now the last stanza out. like a city street, along whose winding way I meet. Winding way means what, children? Now see here in this picture. You can see that the zigzag road, right? That this way, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. That is having a lot of turn in this road. So the poet is telling us like each book is a history. In the first stanza, poet has compared book with the homes of queens and fairy. And now in third stanza, the poet is comparing book with the city street. Okay, city street means what, children? Street. That Badlapur is one of the city. In this way, that the city having a different roads, right? So many roads are there in the city as compared to village. So the point is telling us each book is like a street along whose winding way I meet. Winding way means what? At each turn, okay? At each turn of road I meet. To whom? With a new friend and old who laugh and sing. I meet old friend. Now the old friends are maybe the characters in the story or characters in the poem. Okay. So the poet is telling that each book is like a city street along whose winding way I meet new friend and old who laugh and sing. What these friends do? They laugh and sing. As in this picture, you can see that the children are laughing. And take me of adventuring. Adventuring means what? Doing something beyond something very different. Okay, when you go to the hill station, when you go to the trekking, this is known for adventure, knowing something new. Okay, visiting some places for a new thing. Okay, this is a taking experiences known as adventuring. Okay, once again, I will read this to all. I think this poem explanation is done over here. I love my books. They are homes of queens and fairy and knights and gnomes. Each time I read, I make a call on some quaint person, large or small, who welcomes me with a hearty hand and leads me through his wonderland. Each book is like a city street along whose winding way I meet new person, new friend, and old who laugh and sing and take me off adventuring. Okay. Now here street meet sing. Okay. Now the street meet is rhyming word over here. Adventuring and sing is in rhyming word. Okay, student. So if at the end, I would like to tell you that the story is about the books, how books play very important role, and even in this time when we are not allowed to, what we can do, we can read the books, we can take a lot of knowledge, and even we can read these books for the fun also. Okay, not knowledge purpose or know the meaning in the dictionary. Also, if you are going to read the story book, poem, then surely it will help you to spend your day in a better way and know the answer. In one place only you will be able to imagine lot of things. Okay, just like a watching movie. Okay, so students, this poem is clear to all. If it is clear, show me the thumbs up. Yes, okay.